Magnus Chrona joins the show where we discuss him going to the University of Denver, winning the national championship, and the start of his pro career. So all that and more on today's episode.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, contributor at Inside the Rink. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly a part of the Locked On Network where we cover your team every day. If you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, or you can subscribe on YouTube, or do both. Both is great. And today we have San Jose Barracuda goalie Magnus Chrona joining the show, where we're going to discuss kind of his time at University of Denver, the unique path for him going from Sweden to Denver, winning a championship, of course. He kind of holds it in Thomas Bordeleau's, rubs it in his face a little bit, and then talk about his trade and coming to San Jose, and then kind of get to know Magnus a little bit off the ice. So before we get into it, Magnus, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you guys by Sleeper. Download the Sleeper app and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. And now we bring in San Jose Barracuda goaltender Magnus Chrona. Magnus, how's it going today?
It's pretty good. Tough loss yesterday again in overtime, but the sun goes up again today and tomorrow. So
yeah, we're recording this the day after another overtime loss to the Henderson Silver Knights, who already seem to be a annoying thorn in the Barracuda side this season. But wanted to bring you on to get to know you a little bit, and kind of for Sharks fans who we've been kind of watching you afar with the University of Denver, and now that you're actually here, again, just want to kind of get to know you. So my first question I usually ask is, when did you realize that playing hockey could be a part of your future?
I would say 14, 15 maybe, because I played when I was 14, 15. I played hockey and soccer at the same time before high school. Because I remember I went before high school and middle school, as you guys call it. I went to a soccer class, it was just soccer players, and we had soccer in the morning, soccer, and then it was hockey at night. And then that's kind of when I realized hockey's the thing that I want to go for. Mm-hmm. And then I quickly realized it could be something. And then I just love playing hockey. I've been loving playing hockey since I was a kid, and I think it was kind of the destiny to play hockey instead of soccer at that time.
I'm sure your parents, though, seeing the prices of hockey equipment compared to soccer equipment, that is the one thing, especially for you as a goalie. How did you become a goalie? I mean, I hear a lot of stories of guys where they just kind of picked it or kind of got shoved into a goalie. Was it something you seeked out, or how did you become a goalie?
I was actually a D-man so when we're younger, we play on half ice, mm-hmm. and then you progress to goal line to red line. And then I think I played one tournament as a D-man on full ice, and then I called it quits. And then it was one day after, and it was anyone would try to be a goalie, and I was like, well, sure, I'll try. And then I just seemed to love it from there on out.
They don't want to have to skate up and down the ice all night.
Exactly. I remember it was a long way to skate. It was a lot of skating, but don't be mistaken, goalies, we skate a lot too.
Just much more compact area. So did you have a goaltending idol growing up, or who was the first goalie where you're like, okay, that's the dude I want to be like?
When I was younger, I watched a lot of primetime Corey Crawford and Carey Price for that part, and even Holtby too, and of course Lundqvist. But I obviously, as a Swedish goalie, Lundqvist was very high up there. But I really loved Carey Price too when I was younger.
All right, who's the GOAT goalie then?
What was that?
Who's the GOAT, the greatest of all time? Which goalie's the best of all time?
Hasek is up there. I still think Lundqvist is up there too.
It's Hasek. That's fine. You can pick Hasek. That's for me. It's always Hasek, like just because of a little bit older, but like his style of play was just so much different, and it was very like being a kid, you would try to like play mini sticks. You're doing the butterfly, the flips, and everything like that as a kid. That was, at least for me, that was Hasek.
That's how it was when we were in goalie camps when I was younger a couple of years ago. It was always, we started off with watching like Hasek highlights, and it was like everyone doesn't play the same. You all play different styles, but you still have the same goal of stopping the puck, and just how different each guy do it.
All right. You kind of went a different route. So you know, most Swedish guys that kind of grow up and they go to the SHL route. You came to the United States and decided to go the NCAA route. Was it always going to be that way? What kind of made you decide to go to college route?
I think when I was in juniors back home, I always had the thought that I could play all my 4 years of juniors back home, but then I kind of had the school in mind when I was doing it, and then I got more and more interested in it. And my agent helped a lot since he also played college. Kind of put into perspective how important it is, and to kind of have that for the future when hockey might not be around. And then just seeing the success that Denver had in the previous years with the hockey, but also academics. So I think it was a great spot for me. And then they also had a Swedish goalie before me that was really successful there. So I think it was a pretty no-brainer choice on that one.
So it was always Denver. Were you looking at other schools, or is it just Denver or bust?
No, I think Denver was my primary one. There's plenty of good options in the college hockey world, but I think Denver was by far the one, number one in my eyes.
All right, then of course, 2022. Want to talk about that playoff run. So first, let's start out with you guys played 3 straight 1-goal games, like in the playoffs there. How nerve-wracking is it to just play all these insane games, including an overtime game?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's the competition and just competing, even with 1-goal games. I think our team that year, like even when you mentioned 2022, I just get happy. We were such a good team that year, and we know that we were capable of winning tight games. We knew we can outscore opponents, but even if in tight games, we can still manage to come up on top. But just that whole run, it was something special. And I think we kind of knew that we had a good bounce in the first round against Minnesota Duluth, a pretty lucky bounce that we scored on. And I think at kind of that point that it was gonna be a good run after that.
Almost that like team of destiny feel to it.
Exactly, it was just amazing, and the fact that we played in Colorado as well. It was just something special around then.
All right. Of course, in the Frozen Four, you play Michigan. Bordeleau scores on you, but you guys win the game. So have you brought that up to him? Do you just kind of like flash the ring at him, or does he still say like, I got one on you?
No, I think I brought it up, but I also mentioned that he got one on me though. But I remember it was kind of a broken play too. But no, I haven't flashed the ring. No, I think the ring. Yeah, the ring is not with me here, but it's at home in Sweden with my parents. But yeah, that was a really tight game. Overtime too. It's one and done. So overtime in those games are pretty hard.
All right, guys, before we continue with Magnus and we get to talk about the final moments of the championship, winning it, and then his start of his pro career, I just need to take a quick break and talk to you guys about our good friends over at Indeed. When you're drafting your fantasy team, do you ever wish you could do the same thing with your business team? If you're building a roster to win the league, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for the right candidates with the right skills when you can do all that with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. If you hate waiting, Indeed's US data shows over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. So Join the 3 million businesses worldwide using Indeed to hire great talent fast. Indeed knows when you're growing your business, you need to make every dollar count. That's why when you use Indeed, you only pay for quality applicants that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/lockedon to start hiring. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire. You need Indeed. Yeah. Then of course you get to the championship game. You guys were down the first period, but then you got scored 5 in the third period. You finally got some goal support. Or what was the final minutes like where you're realize you're going to win, you're up by a couple goals? Are you just like watching the clock? Are you nervous? Like, how's that those last final minutes before the game ends?
Yeah, I mean, even in the first period, I remember like because we were down 1-0 in the first,
Mhm.
and then going in, like we knew pretty much all year that we're offensively really good team. Like we probably averaged over 4 goals a game, and that one shot makes a difference. And I mean, even in the locker room, like it was still loose, like we were laughing around and doing all that. But I think in the third there, like something obviously changed, and then I remember at 3-1, I was getting nervous because 3-1 leads are probably the worst in hockey, as we
Yep.
kind of saw the past 2 games here. But when the fourth one kind of came in, then it was just looking at the clock and kind of. I remember I was looking a lot at the bench and just seeing like the joy of everyone and kind of what we all experienced together, and then just happiness from then on.
How long after the game does it like take to hit you that like this goal that you've been working for, right? Winning a championship. How long does it take before it actually hits you?
Uh, I mean, at that point, it was just right after. Like even when we won, when the bus went off, like from there on out, it was for like weeks where it was just joy and happiness. It was just awesome to be around. Um, but yeah, that's about it. It was awesome.
All right. After the season, was there talk of you maybe turning pro that year, or were you always going to go back for that final year at Denver to try to for the repeat?
Uh, yeah, I mean, there was some talks that I could go pro, but then at the same time, the Sharks kind of didn't see anything bad, like a bad outcome of me staying another year. Like obviously, you get a good development side of it,
Mhm.
but then we also had a great chance of running it back again. We had a lot of returning guys, and we still had a really good team. We fell short in the first round, but overall, we went back-to-back seasons with 30 plus wins. And that was the first time in Denver history that was made. So I mean, for me, I didn't see anything negative about coming back for a fourth
Mhm.
year. Obviously, get the degree and development side of things. Nothing I saw that could be a bit negative about that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you played 114 games in 4 seasons. That's you're probably not getting that type of workload right now, at least early with the Sharks. So yeah, I mean, and again, hanging around college is not the worst thing in the world. So especially a cool place like Denver. So
Exactly. Yeah, no, they live for their hockey there and school as well. And it's one of the best places that hockey's taken me for sure.
all right. Of course, you got traded to the Sharks. You were originally a draft pick by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and you got traded in 2021. What was that day like? Were you just like sitting in class, and then all of a sudden your phone blows up that you're getting traded, or like how? Take us through that day.
No, if I remember right, I was in class and I get a call in the morning, and it was from one of the head scouts at Tampa that called me, and he just let me know that it was going through. And then yeah, I don't remember I was much attention in that class. After that, it was one phone call to another, and then Doug Wilson Jr. and Senior called me. So yeah, it was a little missed class time on that day.
Understandable. So I mean, like, is it weird, because like a team like Tampa Bay, where they drafted you, they believed in you, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, here you're going to San Jose now. What is that kind of like getting traded?
I mean, I didn't see any bad part about it. I mean, I think it was a great opportunity for me to kind of test my possibilities with San Jose. Didn't see anything bad about it. They were very positive about it and said that I've been great, and then they just saw this as an opportunity and can't hold grudges against that. And then I'm super happy that San Jose was at the other end of it.
And then, of course, you signed your ELC this offseason. Is it nice now that you don't have to deal with like a lot of the NCAA rules? You get to like participate in training camp and do all that fun stuff now. I know a lot of times with the college guys, like it's hard for them. They have to go through a lot of extra hoops to kind of participate in that stuff.
Yeah, I remember like last year, even at because I didn't attend dev camp after we won because the regulations of school that I can't miss school because I was in summer school at that time. So yeah, it's just nice to be not around those or don't have to work around the rules, and I can actually I played my first rookie tournament as a 23-year-old since I couldn't have attended the past 4 or 3 ones. But yeah, it's definitely nice now.
How was rookie tournament? I mean, going to hang out in Vegas. I know you've rookie tournament in Vegas, and then basically road trips to Vegas has been your pro career so far. So how was the rookie tournament for you though?
I thought it was great. I mean, basically it's a brand new team coming together in a short period of time, but I think we did a great job. It was a really good atmosphere there when we played, or the game that I played against Vegas in the Dollar Loan Center. I mean, I thought it was great kind of to get that first taste of the experience of it. And then it was odd for me seeing guys with visors in a game, kind of used to that by now with 4 years of it. But no, it was a great experience. And being in Vegas at that time of year, it was definitely warm.
Yeah. So you've got a couple games in your belt. What do you think is the biggest difference between college hockey and professional hockey?
I would say the speed. I mean, shots is pretty similar from the conference that I played in, but yeah, obviously everything happens a little faster. You kind of gotta be ready for anything that can happen out there. In college, it was very structurally like each person's doing this, but you never know here in pro. Anything can happen, honestly, and you just got to be prepared for anything, honestly.
Gotcha. So right now with the Barracuda, there's 3 of you guys that are kind of, sharing the load. What's that like going from, again, like where at Denver, you were the unquestionable starter, you got the good chunk of the start. What's that kind of do with your mentality and your preparation of, maybe I'm not going to play as much, or maybe I might get 1 game this week compared to 2 or 3 games a week?
I mean, I still go with the same approach to my game. I mean, I always want to or do my best out there and even in practice to show what I'm capable of. So I still attack it the same, no matter what situation or circumstance it could be.
Gotcha. How's the, I mean, it's kind of a new room for the Barracuda, right? You have Itu McAnamy, who's, back this year, but then it's you and Georgi Romanov, who are kind of the new guys. What's it, kind of getting to know these guys?
No, it's been great. Me and Georgie were kind of bonding with this silent talk, or not silent talk, but more so like a little translation. He's gotten a lot better over the couple months that he's been here with the English and all that. And me and you two, we've clicked a lot. Great conversations, kind of balling the ideas around, and just been great being around. Yeah.
Are you guys gonna help Georgie with the mask? He's got the all white mask right now. Is he just going to stick with a white mask right now, or is he's still working on it?
I've been asking about it. I was like, when's your mask? He's like, I don't know. It's on the way.
It's on the way. Okay, so it's on the way.
Yeah, it sounds like it's in the works. So, but yeah, let's hopefully be able to come soon.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to. I don't know, goalie, like the equipment and stuff is always really cool, and it seems very personal. How much input do you have with your designs? Like, do you kind of like sketch out something, or like talk to your guy, or do you just kind of let your guy kind of do his thing?
With helmet, I have like a couple things. Like I love like clean looks and like everything like melts in together, and that's like the only thing. And then you kind of bounce back and forth on ideas. And then pads, I love like clean style pads, not a whole lot going on. And I kind of went with the past 2-3 years with a lot of white and some like touches of the colors. And I think that's kind of what I like in the design of things.
All right, guys, before we finish up with Magnus Chrona, we get to know Magnus off the ice a little bit more. Need to take a quick break here and talk to you guys about our good friends over at Sleeper. The NHL season brings you all sorts of possibilities. No one on the Sharks is going to score 50 goals or it's the Stanley Cup, but that doesn't mean you can't win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy hockey app of the Locked On NHL network. Sleeper is our number one choice for daily fantasy sports, especially daily fantasy hockey, because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. Entries are easy to make in under a minute. They also have a nice group chat function, so you can kind of connect with other friends and fans. All you have to do is just pick a few of your favorite players and decide if they're going to record more or less in the Sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus minuses, and more in a given game. Just if Blackwood or Capo Kakinen, just keep picking plus on saves, because that's what they're doing right now. So to win 100 times bet on Sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Sharks fans. You can win 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nail your picks so you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and locational availability. Who's your all-time favorite goalie pads?
Model or design?
Either or. So
model, when I was a kid, I was a big fan of the Bauer Total or Total One NXGs or whatever they were called. But then going back, like I really loved that design was great too. And then I loved my design the year that we won too. It was CCM E-Flex 5s. I think they were really crisp and really like clean looking. So I kind of loved that design of it.
How often do you like to change? Do you like your gear out? Like when it wears out? Are you a guy who maybe you like them fresh and brand new, or are you one of those guys who's kind of breaking them in as quickly as possible?
For me, it comes to I like when they're pretty crusty, like not crusty, but they're not soggy. Like I like them when they're in good condition. Because I feel like if it gets soggy, I feel smaller. So I try to have a lot of fresh stuff. But I mean, in this day and era, they're pretty fresh no matter what. But I mean, it doesn't go through a lot of gear, honestly.
Okay. I know. I remember I talked to Ben Gaudreau, and he's like, if I could wear new ones every day, I'd wear new ones every day.
I could not do pads and glove and blocker every single. That would be atrocious.
So, you've been in San Jose for a little bit. So, what are your thoughts on San Jose? Like, how's getting used to the weather of like, oh, it's just nice every day. You don't have to worry about like snow and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a little odd. That's right. I've been basically since this year, I've been living in where snow is the main thing or October, November-ish. But it's nice. I mean, can't really complain about going in shorts and a t-shirt in late October, upcoming November. So
yeah, flip-flops to the rink. There's not anything much better than that, I think. So
exactly.
All right. Question I ask everybody. Socks and skates. Are you a monster who does not wear socks with your skates?
Oh no, never. I'm not a criminal like that. I need my socks and my skate.
Yeah, the people say it's like once you get used to it, apparently it's comfortable, but I don't know how people do it. It just seems like blisters waiting to happen. So
no, I have no skin touching any gear whatsoever.
There you go.
Not even either. I got my sweat gloves too. So
oh, you do the gloves underneath your gloves?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a big fan of usually in all the arenas or rinks that we play, it's usually very hot. After a period or two, it's easy for the gloves to get kind of soggy. So that's why we're white like under gloves that kind of dries it up a little bit.
Gotcha. All right. Makes sense. What does your game day prep look like? Are you a superstitious guy, a little stitious guy, or kind of a let it go, let it loose?
I'm pretty let it loose, honestly. Some all days are different. Maybe some days I might take a nap, and some days I might not. Kind of take it as it goes, and then just be ready when game time comes around.
Are you a coffee before the game guy?
Sometimes. I'm ever since coming here, it's been mostly iced coffee. But when the snow rolls around, it'd probably be a little hot coffee on the road trips.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say there's not snow coming,
No
but
snow coming here.
no, you might be able to enjoy iced coffee all year round. So get chat here last couple ones here. So when you're not playing hockey and like during the off season, what's your favorite activity to do?
I'm fishing is probably the number one. Getting into golf lately too. But I would say fishing. I fish a lot and kind of go on little hiking trips and being outdoor. We do it every summer, me and my buddy from home. So that's, I would say, would be my number one hobby outside of hockey.
Gotcha. And then you of course went to school, got your degree. What's long time from now, but what's after hockey, what's going to be the plan for you?
Um, I mean, I don't know, honestly. I would love to stay in hockey, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
A big part of my life. So I mean, I wouldn't see any reason to get out of that career choice. So I think that would be number one, and then maybe the backup for the backup plan would be my degree,
Which is in
marketing and communications. So that's the backup plan.
I work, my day job is in marketing and communications, so it is plenty. Yes, there's plenty of every day is different in marketing and communications. That's what I will say. So yes,
Variety.
a variety of stuff. So Magnus, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. So we're excited for this Barracuda. I know the season's come off a little rocky to start with, but it's a long season, and I think you guys have a lot of talent to make a kind of make some noise in the Pacific Division this year. So, but appreciate your time. Stay healthy this year, and good luck this year, buddy.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Magnus Chrona. I know right now the Barracuda have had a little bit of a rough start to their season, but I really believe in Magnus Chrona, and especially with his, like, he's played some massive games against really good competition. And I think once the Barracuda team starts to kind of figure things out a little bit here, I think Chrona is going to be a big part of that. So really, it seems like really a great guy. Again, it's really interesting, going from the SHL to playing in the NCAA. He said, it's just, you don't see that path super often. So, but I mean, again, he got to play some massive games, big time competition, with a lot of stakes. So, I think Chrona, once the team in front of him gets a little bit more comfortable here, I expect big things out of Magnus Chrona. So that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow where we're going to kind of dig into some of the prospects and how they started their season, what I've seen watching some of these guys play, and kind of looking at their stats so far. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can subscribe on YouTube as well. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. You can follow me on Twitter at MyFryhole. Until tomorrow, bye, friends.